fiqh class Matin Abi Shuja, the text of Abu Shuja in Shafi'i fiqh. The last time we discussed was the last topic that we discussed was the sunan of wudu, the sunnah of wudu. And today, inshallah, we'll talk about the etiquette of answering the call of nature, and we'll talk about things that will break or invalidate the wudu. Inshallah, this is the topic for today. Let's go over the sunan of wudu. The sunnah of wudu is to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There are many sunans and etiquette. Some of them are not mentioned here, but we follow what Shafi'i says in this text. Washing the hands before inserting them in the containers. In the old days, they would take wudu from a container, right? So before you insert your hand to take water, you pour water outside. So it is a sunnah to wash the hands outside. Rinsing the mouth and blowing the nose, they are sunnah. If you skip them, you are fine. Wiping the face, wiping all over the head. So the minimum in Shafi'i is 1/4. So if you have some water and you put it on your hair, that will suffice you, that will be enough. To complete all of the hair back and forth, this is sunnah. Wiping the ear also is sunnah. If somebody skips it, his wudu is still valid. Inserting the water in the beard, if somebody has a beard, and also between the fingers and the toes is among the sunnah. Starting with the right is a sunnah. Washing 3 times instead of 1 time also is a sunnah. I can share it with you if you want. I forgot to share it. I can share it. Washing 3 times everything. This is a sunnah among the sunnah of wudu. And doing the wudu without interruption, to continue to do the wudu until you finish, is also a sunnah. Someone might ask, why should we know the fara'id al-wudu, the pillars of wudu, the most important part and the secondary part? What is the point? Just let us make wudu like what the Messenger ﷺ made wudu. Wash the hands, mouth, nose, face. Just what he did, we know that, as we teach our kids. So is it necessary to go in that details and saying this is fard of wudu or wajib and this is sunnah? To answer that, yes, it is very for academic knowledge. Why? To know what to do if there is a mistake. To help fix our mistakes. Somebody is making wudu and he forgot to wash his mouth or nose. Then he remembers while he is washing his arms, oh, I forget my mouth. Or he starts with the left hand before the right hand. So is it important to repeat the wudu or go back and fix it, etc.? So if we tell him that the mouth and the nose are sunnah, just keep going. You skip the sunnah. But if he skips the face and he starts with the arms, we tell him the face is a fard. Go back to the face, then continue with the arms. So to know how to fix. Somebody says, I started with the left before the right. We tell him it is sunnah to start with the right before the left, or the right foot before that. This is sunnah. So what is the benefit of knowing pillars from non-pillars or main parts of the wudu, and from the secondary is to know how to fix the mistakes. What are the pillars of the wudu? Do you remember that are mentioned in the ayah? O believers, when you stand for salah, إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ, on the arms, wipe over your head and wash your feet. One before it, which is niyyah, intention, and the last one to put them in order. In Shafi'i, it is in order. In Hanafi, it's not important like the order. So these are the pillars. How to fix our wudu? Yes. So if somebody finishes or halfway, how to fix it in case of a mistake. Here, mistake, just to know that it is important and not important. Here, how to fix. And also to know the minimum in case you don't have time or water. Somebody is in a rush, and it happened to me sometimes. I have to catch up with the salah, and people are waiting. For example, just instead of doing everything 3 times and rinsing the mouth and the nose, I would do just the fara'id al-wudu. This is the minimum that you can wudu that are mentioned in the ayah of the Quran. Somebody is waiting for his son. Hurry up, make wudu and come join us the salah. So just to do the minimum. Somebody doesn't have enough water. So just a little bit of water. Okay, do the fard of the wudu without the sunnah of the wudu. So there are many benefits for all of that. Okay, Somebody goes to the bathroom to answer the call of nature, urinating or defecating. Is it obligatory to clean? Of course, yes. And this is one of the things that distinguishes us as Muslims, perhaps from many others. That we clean, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises those, and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam praises those. Yes, it is obligatory to clean. Allah loves purity, tahara, and He loves people who purify themselves. The salah will not be accepted without cleaning ourselves. How to purify the private parts after the call of nature? Number one, we have to remember that we can wash or wipe at least 3 times. The minimum is 3 times. And washing with water or spraying or a jug, whatever you call it, or wiping using tissues nowadays, napkins. In the old days, they used to have stones. It's good to know, somebody might get stuck somewhere in the desert, somewhere, or in the future, water are expected to cause a lot of wars in the future and lack of water. So to know that you can do it with the stones. Water alone will do it, and stones or tissues alone will do it. But the water is better than wiping. So if somebody says, I want to do this or this, water is preferable. Water is preferable. In the Medina, the majority of the Sahaba would use rocks. The majority of the Sahaba. Again, the minimum is 3. The minimum is 3. And if it is needed more, then you need to more to do it. To use more or tissues more and more until you make sure that there is nothing. So the majority of Sahaba would use their stones to cleanse themselves. But the people of Qiba, one of the families in Medina, they used to use stones and water. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised them in the Quran. فِيهِ رِجَالُ يُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَتَطَهَّرُوا. The first masjid that was established on piety, therein men, of course, and women who like to purify or want to purify themselves. Scholars say people of Quba, they were living in the outskirts of Medina. Nowadays it is in Medina. The etiquettes of the restroom. Not to face the Qibla or give your back to the Qibla. But if you are in an open area, if you are in a park or in a camp and you are urinating or defecating, then don't give your back to the Qibla or face the Qibla while you are doing it. If you are in your house and there are walls, it will be okay. Okay, it will be okay. Now in our houses, it will be okay. What is forbidden if somebody is in an open area? Not to urinate or defecate in stagnant water. Water that is not running. There is a pool. To go and because that will destroy it all. Also, it is disliked or it is haram to do it in water in general. Like if there is a small amount of water, even if it is running and somebody destroys it, still it is haram and it is forbidden. But the hadith of the Messenger ﷺ specifically about stagnant water, like the well of people, well of a people or their pool, and he goes, can urinate in that. So this is totally forbidden. It's difficult to purify. Not like running river and a stream. Usually they get purified quickly and easily. Can you see, or I'll make it bigger? Okay. Also, it is forbidden to urinate or defecate under a tree that carries fruit. We're not talking about a bush in the desert, that nobody comes, nobody lays under, nobody. But this one is specifically fruit, because usually people come more and more to fruit area. Or in the road of people, a path, and people are going right and left. Back home you see that a lot. Or shade, the shade of people. So if there is a tree that people are expected or they come to sit in the shade, or a building or something, it is forbidden to do it in the shade. The Messenger ﷺ said, don't be among those who are cursed. Don't be cursed. They said, Allah's Messenger, how? He said, avoid doing it under a tree that carries a fruit, or in the road, or in the shade of people. Because people, when they come under a tree, they are and they want to relax and they find something, they start cursing. Like you bring a curse to yourself. Or the holes the holes. And scholars say like why holes? They say like because it is the place of jinn where they can live, or because you might have like a snake or an insect that will come and hurt the person. So sitting in a hole and doing it is forbidden. Should not talk or socialize. Socializing. Even if somebody says Assalamu alaikum, you respond in your heart. Even if somebody sneezes outside, Alhamdulillah, then you answer in your heart. Unless if it is extremely necessary, we should not speak. So to avoid speaking and socializing. There is a narration, some scholars consider da'if, weak, that Allah hates two people exposing their awrah, their private parts, and socializing. Like this life. Of course, it's forbidden to eat or drink while doing a business. The business here specifically. Not to look or to touch private part or the filth, the najasa, unless if necessary, unless if there is necessary. So just to look around, start looking, is not an Islamic etiquette. Not to spend long time. It is the shayateen, the place of shayateen, and the bathroom. Not to carry anything that has the name of Allah or Quran on it. Cell phones are exceptions. Exceptions, why? Because texts are just numbers, right? Do you agree that when it is closed, the cell phone is closed, then it is just numbers until you turn it on. We are computer people, all right? Somebody asks you, like one of the muftis, he says, what about the Quran? The phone, it has a Quran. He says, if it is turned off, you can take it, to the bathroom. He said, but it has Quran inside it. And the mufti responded, he said, do you memorize Quran? And he said, yes. He said, maybe you need to leave your heart and mind outside before you go to the bathroom. It is not coded. It is decoded, sorry. Okay, some scholars, not all scholars, not to face the sun or the moon or give them their back. So not all scholars. There is no text, but why? Because Allah made the sun and the moon among the signs of Allah. So to respect them. Not to take off clothing. One of the etiquette is not to take off clothing until you reach the floor, until you go down almost before the floor down. So it is modesty issue. It is a modesty issue. So you go down all the way and you take off your pants. Not while somebody is standing, take off your pants and walk, especially on a man. To avoid against the direction of the wind. So if the wind is blowing in this way and somebody is urinating or something, then the wind is blowing. The najasa will come on him, right? Will come. So be careful about the direction of the wind if somebody is outside. Of course, among the etiquette is entering with the left. We teach our kids always entering with the left and recite the dua, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubuthi wal khaba'ith, and to leave with the right and to recite the dua, ghufranak. Any question? Clear? Okay, things that it breaks your wudu. Things that break the wudu or invalidate the wudu. None of them is being naked. I don't know, several people ask me in this community saying, if I take off my clothing, will that break my wudu? And the answer is no. So you can go to your closet, take off your clothing, wear underwear and other clothing. That will not invalidate the wudu. Your wudu is valid. It doesn't break your wudu. Okay? So what are the things that break the wudu? Whatever comes out of the front or the back private parts. Whatever comes from the private parts. Passing wind, farting, or urinating, or monthly cycle, anything like that comes from sperms, anything that comes from private parts or from front or back, that breaks your fasting. Number two is sleeping while buttocks, lower back is not firm on solid thing. So if I am sitting like this and I take a nap, now something solid, that doesn't break the wudu. But if there is a big cushion, or if I am lying on my side, then some gas will come out somewhere without realizing. Okay? So if somebody firmly sitting on a solid, then it will be fine. And this is how we understand the hadith, that the Sahaba sometimes would be waiting for Salat al-Isha and they would sleep while they're sitting, to the point that their heads go down and they would stand up for Salah and they don't make wudu. So they were not sleeping on the ground all the way, they're sitting firmly. Some scholars said if you have cushions underneath you, no, it will break your wudu. Okay, something like practical. What if somebody is lying on the ground and he is half asleep? Half asleep. So imagine that you are not fully unconscious, not fully sleeping. You are half the way. You hear your wife and your kids, saying things. You are not focused 100%, but you are you are listening to them. You hear the conversation. This is not deep sleeping. It doesn't break the wudu. It doesn't break the wudu. Okay? Because still you have some conscious. If something crawls on your hand, if something passes by, passes out of you, then you will hear it. Unconsciousness, full sleeping, sickness, anything that causes somebody falls unconscious, that breaks the wudu. Touching a woman that is not mahram. Touching a woman that is not mahram is invalidating the wudu. So you are in the marketplace and touching the skin of another woman because she's giving you the money, giving you something, salam alaikum, then that invalidates the wudu. This is one of the debatable issues, but in Shafi'i madhab is adopted that touching the private parts, genitals, the front or the back, anus, with the palm, this part, if you touch the private parts, invalidates your wudu. So if by mistake you touch, it will be fine, the back or here, but here exactly the palm of the hand. Last question before we conclude. Can doubt negate the affirmation or not? This is a very important rule in Islam, and it will help you inshallah in your life a lot. Already you made wudu and you are 100% you made wudu, okay, 100%, but some doubts come to you. Did I pass gas? Did something come out of me? Did I go to the bathroom or not? Are you sure about all of that? You are not sure. Is your wudu valid or not? So you are 100% sure that you made wudu, but you have doubts about other things. Did I pass some wind? Did I fart? Did I go to the bathroom? Did the dog that came sniffing, did it touch me? Are you sure? I will ask you, are you sure? Or ask yourself, am I sure 100%? No. Which one is stronger? The affirmation 100% or the doubts? Which one is stronger?
Affirmation.
The affirmation. So the affirmation should not be cancelled out or negated by the doubts. Stick to what you are sure to. So you are in the salah and shaitan comes to you, says, maybe you went to the bathroom. Don't leave your salah, keep going, because you are sure that you made wudu, okay? So build on what you are sure of and don't go to the negation. In this culture, dogs. You are not sure if that dog sniffed you or not, but you are sure that your clothing are pure. You are sure that your clothing are pure. So don't leave what you are sure of because you have some doubts, okay? So can doubt negate the affirmation? Of course no. So the advice is always stick to what is affirmed or you are sure of. Okay? This will help you and save you a lot. There are some people who always have doubts. They make wudu and they, before they leave the bathroom, they start having doubts. Did I have najasa in my pants? And they go and they clean themselves again. And they go, before they leave, they go back. There is a disease, like what they call it, compulsory, I guess, obsession with something. There is an advice that if somebody has that doubts, let him sprinkle some waters in his underwear. Just to sprinkle some water under. So if later on come out, you say, oh, there is some wetness, something wet. You say, oh, it is the water that I sprinkled, just to cut out all of these doubts and thoughts. I know it's something simple, but some people are struggling with. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them and for us. Okay, any question before we conclude? جزاكم الله والخير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.